Poverty and inequality in wages in America is a topic that has been discussed a lot, but not much action has taken place to fix either of these issues. Poverty and inequality in wages affects pretty much everybody, even other countries. When one country's economy is struggling, especially such a large one that many other countries are dependent on, it can make investors lose their faith in that country overall, slowing down the global economy. Upper-class Americans who are not struggling financially are affected due to the fact that they are not the working class. The upper class is reliant on those below them to stimulate the economy in order to maintain their wealth. When the gap between the rich and the poor become wider and the poor are the majority of the country, these people stop buying luxuries and only buy the essentials, which can drastically slow down the economy. Now, how is this income gap created? The answer is pretty simple. The rich are getting richer, however, the poor are not getting poorer. It only seems like the poor are getting poorer due to the massive increase in income the wealthy see yearly, while the working class only sees very small increases over several years. Here's how that affects the economy. When children grow up in poverty, they are somewhat more likely than non-poor children to have low earnings as adults, which in turn reflects lower workforce productivity. And the further the wage gap becomes, the more children will grow up in poverty due to the fact that the working class makes up the majority of the U.S. population. We see wage gaps in gender, race, and even education level. However, what we're looking at is income across the board. The overall story of inequality is clear. The lines demonstrate that those with the highest wages have had the fastest wage growth in recent years. From 2000 to 2017, the 95th percentile wage grew about 4 times faster than the wages at the median. By 2017, the 95 to 10 ratio had grown to 6.1 from 5.8 in 2007 and 5.4 in 2000. This means that on an hourly basis, the 95th percentile wage earners was paid 6.1 times what the 10th percentile wage earner was paid. This gap in income in America doesn't necessarily affect the economy, but what it does do is drive up the poverty rate. The higher the poverty rate, the less people that have money, and the less people that have money, aggregate demand will drop, which in turn slows down production overall, slowing the economy. So that's the problem. How do we fix it? Here's how we can fix these problems. The government implementing policies is probably the most effective way to fix these issues. Sustained economic growth, which is the argument that promoting economic growth increases total income in society, creating more jobs and income which could be redistributed. Reduce unemployment, progressive taxes, minimum wage increases, benefits in kind, and universal basic income. Some of these policies presented were implemented in the UK, and from what we can tell, it's effectively dropped the poverty rate in the UK. While America may be out of the recession from 2008, many of us still feel it 10 years later.